Our yard visitors. Our yard caretaker had called for another early morning meeting. This was the third one we were having this week, and today is just Thursday. We were being robbed almost every night. The thieves usually sent letters to us and struck thereafter, taking our monies and valuables. This morning, after yet another night of terror, with everybody obviously frustrated and angry, we decided to have another meeting, this time with a more realistic solution. I now make my money for thieves in this yard. I go to my shop, toil, and come back only to be robbed of my hard-earned money. Did I come to this Lagos to count bridge? Pataiwu asked rhetorically, why fuming in anger? My God, this is too much. I am tired of all these robberies, Mama Chukwebuka chipped in. Every member of the yard aired their grievances, but with caution, because we suspected there was an insider. Someone in the yard had a connection with these thieves. Let me explain. The other day, Tunde, our caretaker, was beaten by masked men on his way to his office. This was after he had suggested earlier during one of our yard meetings that we report the night thefts to the police. Also, Auntie Ayanfe was left in tears after being flogged mercilessly by unknown men about a week ago. This was after she had laid curses on the thieves once again during our yard meetings, and a whole lot of predicaments that befell any member of our yard that spoke ill of our night visitors. Our yard is a face me I face you type located in Ajegunle, Lagos. There are about 50 rooms and we all share same toilets and bathrooms. Pa and Maiso occupied 2 of the rooms with their 4 children. Esau, their oldest child, their pride, worked as a security man in an oil company where he was given accommodation. He comes back home only on weekends and usually brought things for his family and members of our yard whenever he visited, with everyone showering praises and blessings on him. Mommy Isabel was a single mother and she lived in one room. She disliked me because our yard people suggested I shouldn't partake in the weekly sweeping of our yard. This was because I am a Corp member and according to them, I was already serving the government. Mama Tife, the ever-cheerful widow, had 2 rooms with her 5 children. In other words, there were also other low-class citizens living in our yard. And then there is Ibrahim, the answer man who had the room to himself and never had any visitors. He kept to himself most of the time and rarely spoke to members of our yard. He was never around on the nights the thieves came, but was always present in the meetings. Everybody suspected Ibrahim, but no one had the guts to speak up for fear of being attacked. Though I saw it as a mere coincidence that he was absent the night we were robbed. Then there is me. My name is Amarachi Darasimi Okeke, an only child. My late dad was Igbo and my mom Yoruba. I was born and bred in Enugu State. My mom took over my dad's businesses and properties after he died years ago. Wondering how I found myself in this type of environment despite being from a wealthy background? Well, I had always wanted to be independent, to know what it meant to be responsible for myself. So, when I first told my mom I had been posted to Lagos for NYSC, she casually picked her phone and put a call through for it to be changed to Enugu. I was quite rebellious about my decision to serve in Lagos, so I refused to stay back in Enugu. My mom threatened to cut me off, including emptying my bank account, which she eventually did. I was still adamant, and in the next 2 days, I packed my things and was on my way to Lagos with the little money I had managed to save. It was quite difficult to find a decent house in Lagos with the little money I had, Hence, the reason I ended up here. My mother has called once and asked me to come back home, but as I expected, I maintained my stance. 2 weeks later, it was a Saturday morning and everybody was going about their weekend chores when Kama, one of my Esau's children, ran into the compound holding a letter. She handed the letter to Tunde, the caretaker, and he read the letter out to the hearing of everybody. We would be coming soonest. Prepare for us. Every member of the yard went about their businesses in low mood, with people murmuring. This letter was from our yard visitors, the thieves. I went back to my room and carefully counted the money I had saved and kept it aside for the day our yard visitors would struck. They attacked on a Tuesday night with the usual banging on our doors and brandishing of guns. Our yard visitors were 4 in number today instead of the usual 3. As usual, they started collecting our money from room to room. One of the highlights of the night was that Mr. Ibrahim was surprisingly around today. But Pa Esau was missing. They beat Mr. Ibrahim mercilessly because he wasn't familiar with the usual rituals, which made the thief think he was trying to play smart. The scenario was quite chaotic. We all thought they were going to shoot him to death. After the robbery, the thieves left. But seconds later, we started hearing gunshots outside our yard. We had male voices too, and an uproar that seemed like a battle between 2 rival gangs. The gunshot lasted for several minutes, and when it eventually stopped, we overheard people saying, "Remove their masks. It be like this one still there alive, oh. Ah, na thief so." My Esau started screaming at the top of her voice, screaming her husband and her son's name. Well, what happened was that a soldier was celebrating his birthday at a beer parlor at the next street, and his colleagues were present to celebrate with him. On hearing the commotion coming from our yard during the robbery, they came to know what was going on. They were armed, hence opened fire immediately they collided with our night visitors. One by one, we all stood up from our lying position and went outside to see what had ensued. We saw the soldiers unmask the lifeless bodies of the thieves, and 2 of them were identified as Esau and his father, Pa Esau, our yard members. We were all shocked. My Esau slumped on sighting her dead husband and son. In shock, I walked back to my room, brought out my iPhone from where I had tucked it away, and sent a text to my mother. "Mom, I'm coming home." I threw open my travel bag and began to throw in things randomly as I packed. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, hit the post notification, comment, share, and stay on this channel for more stories like this. Thank you.